Hey y'all, my name is Briley Casanova, and I am a Certified Mental Performance Consultant, or CMPC for short. Happy 2025. This episode is being released in January 2025, so hopefully this is coming at a productive time of year for those who are listening and watching. In the spirit of a new day and a new year, today I want to talk about motivation. And yes, motivation is important to everybody. But I ask you, the audience, what happens when you don't have it? Do you give up and walk away from whatever tasks you have in front of you? That's part of the problem. A lot of us do. My intention for this pep talk is to bring our attention to some ideas that can lead us towards living fulfilling lives and performing at our best on days when we potentially don't want to. How often would you describe yourself as motivated, and why? What contributes to your motivation? Is it within you? Is it because of the task itself? Or is it externally driven? Maybe you're driven by both internal, intrinsic, or external factors. Here are the following ideas from myself of what to do when you don't feel motivated. First idea, rely on perseverance before passion. Passion is definitely important, but it comes second to perseverance because passion comes and goes sometimes. One day we might be passionate about a project, a task, a hobby, an activity, whatever it is, but what's going to win the day at the end of the day is perseverance. Can you stick to it and just simply not give up? Can you persevere? In addition to that, my next idea is lean into endurance and discipline. So how can we stay perseverant, I guess, is by leaning into endurance and discipline. Endurance and discipline are both rare, but so are you. Do you have the discipline, integrity, and commitment to enduring difficult times? Yes, you do. You can do difficult things. Life is a series of constant adaptation until we die. Adapt to difficulty today, choose endurance, and think long-term for sustainability rather than what you feel immediately. And all of this comes down to just how long can you tolerate and sit with discomfort or uncomfortable emotions. That's really what I believe endurance is about, and it takes discipline. Discipline is simply a product of our habits, and the habits that you have now either lead you towards discipline or away from it, or maintain it. So keep that in mind. Another idea I want to share with you today is to trust your values. And first and foremost, if you don't know what your values are, take some time to really think about those things. If you know your values, you're more likely to pursue those, no matter what kind of task there is in front of you. So my next question for you is, what are the top 5 things that are most important to you? It could be things, it could be people, it could be characteristics, it could be personality traits, anything you want, doesn't matter. List out the top 5 things that are important to you. There are no wrong answers. Write those down. Write down your top 5 values and put that somewhere visible, whether that's your bathroom mirror next to your bed, whatever you have easy access to. Maybe another idea is take a screenshot or a picture of your values and make them your phone background or your computer screen background. So make sure you have easy access and are easily reminded of your values. And I want you to think, how can you lean slightly more into just one of those values this week? See what happens when you focus intentionally on your values and attach yourself to them and identify with them. Next idea is to remember your purpose and your sense of why you do what you do. Whatever the activity is, whatever you want your life to be about. What is the purpose behind your life? What are you meant to do? Why are you meant to do it? Define your intention behind your behaviors. If we act mindlessly without intention, that is where we start to feel like we have less control in our lives, and that's where we start to lose motivation. We each have a purpose that's up to us to define and act in service of. Any why can bear almost any how. Next idea, change something about your environment. Take this time to evaluate the people and things in your environment now that might be dragging you down rather than lifting you up. Who are you spending time with? Are those people motivating or inspiring? Are they driven and do difficult things themselves? Do they have a purpose that they subscribe to? Are there people around you who also live good lives, make good decisions, and inspire you to be better? Find those people. If not, in return, Be a fountain for them rather than a drain. Keep the cycle going. Find people that you would also do difficult things for. This next idea is called the Dunning-Kruger effect. And if you want to learn more about it, feel free to look it up online. I will also, if you're watching this visually on YouTube or on Spotify, wherever you can visually see my podcast, I will also insert a picture of the Dunning-Kruger effect on your screen. Basically, the idea behind the Dunning-Kruger effect is the only way out is through. I want you to remember that. The only way out is through. It's easy to give up when you're in the valley of despair. So the Dunning-Kruger effect, if you take a look at the picture that I share with you, you'll notice that at the very bottom where we are the least motivated, it's called being in the valley of despair. And there are other parts of the Dunning-Kruger effect in your journey, and it's basically showing you a visual representation of both competence and confidence. And at some point, once we think we know everything and we're super confident and we think we're competent, something along the way comes around and humbles us, and then all of a sudden we find ourselves in the valley of despair. I want you to use kind of that idea as a visual representation for basically feeling unmotivated to move forward. And at the bottom of the valley of despair, that's when most of us decide to give up and stop working on whatever we wanted to work on. That's when all of our motivation is gone, all of the desire to do whatever it is gone. And the only way to get out of the valley of despair is to keep showing up, keep going through it. It does not have to be perfect. In fact, it's okay to be sloppy during this time period. Also, stop waiting for perfect conditions to do things and to do the things that you said you would do when you set out a goal to accomplish. These difficult times in the valley of despair will test your integrity, but it's up to you to pass the test. And passing the test sometimes means simply showing up when you don't want to. Showing up is 90% of the challenge and of the journey. So again, I will try to insert the Dunning-Kruger effect if you need to pause at any time and take a look at the screen just to get a visual representation one more time. Please do that. Now, a message for us all to end on for now. I want you guys to remember today that life is not a dress rehearsal. Every day we must perform in some capacity, whether we're motivated to do it or not. Maybe our performance, quote unquote, is related to parenting. Maybe it's school or academics. Maybe it's work. Maybe it's caregiving, sports, hobbies, and maybe even your relationships are what you consider to be your performance in life. And we only get one life. So I encourage you to make the most of it wherever you are in your life journey, no matter what walk of life you are in, no matter how old you are, no matter your just physical capabilities. I encourage you to make the most of what you do have, even when you don't necessarily want to. In other words, show up for your friends, show up for your family, your team, your coaches, your kids. Show up when you don't want to. Life doesn't just get to stop because we're unmotivated. Plus, whether we like it or not, and for better or worse, we are evaluated based on what we do in life, not just what we think. Results do matter, but trying and pursuing excellence also matters. Even if the end result isn't exactly perfect, it's more than just our thoughts that count in life. Effort matters, and effort shows up through our actions. I hope you keep that in mind today. Thank you so much for listening. Please check out my social media platforms. Everything is listed in the show notes in the description section of the platform that you choose to listen or view this podcast on. I've now consolidated all of my relevant links into one link tree, so I hope that makes it easier for you to find me if you're interested in learning more about me and my other pep talks and my other social media. Thank you again so much. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.